She left me at the altar, and 3 years later, she wants me back. But my life isn't hers anymore. Chapter 1: The Wedding That Never Happened. 3 years ago, I stood at the altar, waiting. The hall was decorated perfectly. White flowers lined the aisle. Soft music played in the background. Guests whispered excitedly, glancing toward the entrance. Everything was ready. Everything! Except the bride. I checked my phone again. No messages. Calls. Silence. At first, I told myself she was late. Maybe traffic. Maybe makeup delays. Something normal. Something explainable. But as minutes turned into an hour, the whispers in the hall began to change. Why hasn't she come yet? Is something wrong? My parents looked worried. Her parents avoided eye contact. Indépendant. I already knew. Something wasn't right. Then my phone vibrated. A message. From her. Emily. My hands trembled slightly as I opened it. I'm sorry. I can't do this. I don't love you enough to marry you. That was it. No explanation. Apology. No second thoughts. Just a few cold words that shattered everything. For a moment, the world went silent. I couldn't hear the music. I couldn't hear the whispers. I couldn't feel anything at all. Just emptiness. I don't remember how I left the hall. I don't remember what I said to the guests. All I remember was standing outside alone, still wearing my wedding suit, still holding on to something that didn't exist anymore. My best friend, Ryan, ran after me. Bro, what happened? He asked, breathless. I showed him the message. His expression darkened instantly. She just left, he said in disbelief. I nodded slowly. Ryan clenched his fists. That's messed up, he muttered. Please, son, you'll get through this. She doesn't deserve you. At the time, I didn't respond, because I wasn't thinking about the future. I wasn't thinking about moving on. I was just trying to understand one thing. Why? That night, I sat alone in my apartment, still in my suit, still staring at the message. I don't love you enough. The words repeated in my mind again and again. 3 years of memories. 3 years of trust. 3 years of believing we were building a future together. Ande erendad. Like this. Warning. Closure. Just abandonment. I thought that was the worst day of my life. I thought nothing could hurt more than being left at the altar. I was wrong. Because 3 years later, the woman who destroyed me would walk back into my life and ask me to apologize to her. But by then, everything had already changed. Chapter 2: The Life I Built Without Her. The first year after the wedding was the hardest. Every place reminded me of her. Every song. Every memory. Even simple things like passing by a cafe we used to visit felt unbearable. At first, I tried to understand why Emily left. I replayed everything in my mind. Every conversation. Every moment. Looking for a reason. But the truth was simple. She didn't love me enough. And eventually, I forced myself to accept that. Life didn't stop just because mine had fallen apart. Bills still needed to be paid. Work still needed to be done. So I buried myself in my job. Long hours, latchy nights, no distractions, no emotions, just work. And slowly, the pain became quieter, gone, but manageable. About a year later, everything changed. It was raining that night. I had just finished work and was heading home when I saw her. A woman standing under a broken streetlight, holding a small child close to her. She looked exhausted, soaked from the rain, and the child in her arms was crying softly. Something about that scene made me stop. I don't know why. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was fate. I walked toward them. "Are you okay?" I asked. The woman looked up, surprised. Her eyes were red like she had been crying. I don't have anywhere to go," she admitted quietly. The child clung to her tightly. Without thinking too much, I made a decision. "Come with me," I said. She hesitated. "I'm not asking for anything," I added. "Just don't stay out here like this." After a long pause, she nodded. Her name was Sophia, and the child was her daughter, Mia. At first, I only meant to help for a few days. A temporary place. A small kindness. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And before I realized it, they had become part of my life. Mia was only a few months old when I first met her. Ow! She was 3. Bright. Energetic. Always smiling. She called me Dad. The first time she said it, I froze. I didn't know how to react. But Sophia just smiled softly. "If you don't like it, I'll correct her," she said. I shook my head. "It's fine." And strangely, it felt right. Sophia never asked about my past, and I never asked about hers. We didn't need to, because what we had wasn't built on the past. It was built on the present. A quiet, peaceful life. The kind of life I thought I'd never have again. 3 years passed like that. Calm. Simple. Hey-oh. Until one afternoon, everything I had left behind suddenly came back. I was picking Mia up from daycare when I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Wait, is that really you?" I froze. Slowly, I turned around, and there she was, Emily, standing there like nothing had ever happened. Like she hadn't destroyed my life 3 years ago. She smiled, as if she had the right to, and said something that made my blood run cold. "Don't you think it's time you apologize to me?" Chapter 3, The Audacity to Return. For a moment, I thought I was imagining things. But it was really her, Emily, standing just a few steps away, dressed elegantly, looking exactly like she used to, confident, composed, and completely shameless. "Long time no see," she said with a small smile. My grip tightened around Mia's tiny hand. She looked up at me, sensing the tension. "Dad?" she asked softly. Emily's eyes shifted downward, and that's when she noticed Mia. For the first time, her confident expression cracked. "Who is this?" she asked. I didn't answer immediately. Instead, I looked at her. 3 years. 3 years without a word. And this was how she came back. Not with an apology. Not with regret. But with arrogance. You asked me something, I said calmly. Her brows furrowed slightly. What? You asked if I should apologize to you. Her expression hardened again. Well, yes, she said, crossing her arms. You disappeared after everything. You didn't even try to contact me. I almost laughed. Disappeared? I was at the altar, Emily, I said quietly. You're the one who didn't show up. She looked annoyed, like I was being unreasonable. I told you I couldn't marry you, she replied. You should have understood that. Understood. I took a slow breath. You sent a message. I said, 5 lines. That's all I got after 3 years together. She looked away briefly, then sighed. I didn't want to make a scene, she said. So you thought humiliating me in front of everyone was better. She didn't respond because she didn't have an answer. Then her eyes returned to Mia. You still haven't told me who she is, she said. Mia hid slightly behind me, holding my leg. She's my daughter, I replied simply. The words hung in the air. Emily froze. Your what? My daughter? Her face turned pale. That's not possible, she said quickly. It's been 3 years. Exactly, I interrupted. That's enough time for life to move on. She stared at Mia again. This time, more carefully, as if trying to process what she was seeing. What about us? She asked suddenly. There is no us, Emily. Her expression shifted this time, not arrogance, but disbelief. You're serious? She asked. You're just going to throw everything away. I almost smiled. The irony was unbelievable. You threw it away 3 years ago, I said calmly. For the first time. She looked shaken. Really shaken. As if the reality she believed in was collapsing. Then, slowly, her expression changed again. Not regret. Sadness. But something else. Possessiveness. You think I'll just accept this? She said quietly. I came back because I was ready to fix things. Fix things? With conditions? I asked. You want me to apologize for something I didn't do? She stepped closer, lowering her voice. If you apologize, we can start over, she said. My eyes met hers. Andes timidation. Juan Wargi. Cold. Final. Behind me, Mia tightened her grip on my hand. And for the first time since Emily appeared, I felt something unexpected. Not anger. Not pain. But certainty. I had already moved on. The only one stuck in the past was her. Chapter 4. She refused to let go. I thought that was the end of it. After that day outside the daycare, I believed Emily would finally understand. That she would accept reality and walk away. I was wrong. It started with messages. At first, they were simple. We need to talk. You're making a mistake. That child isn't your real family. I ignored all of them because I didn't owe her anything. Not anymore. But she didn't stop. Calls. Voicemails. Ivanimeius. Every day, her presence tried to force its way back into my life. And every day, I refused to let it. Then one afternoon, things crossed a line. I was at work when my phone rang. It was an unknown number. Normally, I wouldn't answer. but something made me pick it up. "Hello!" A familiar voice responded. "I'm outside your house." My expression darkened instantly. "Emily, what are you doing there?" I asked coldly. "I came to talk," she said. "No," I replied immediately. "We have nothing to talk about." But before I could hang up, she added something that made my chest tighten. "I already met them." My grip on the phone tightened. "What do you mean?" "I met your family," she said. Her tone carried something dangerous, possessive, unstable. I thought I should see what replaced me. I left work immediately. The entire drive home felt suffocating. My thoughts raced with every possibility. When I finally arrived, saw her standing outside my house, like she belonged there. Sophia was near the door, and Mia was hiding behind her, scared. That alone was enough to ignite something cold inside me. I walked straight toward them. "Emily," I said sharply, "what do you think you're doing?" She turned toward me with a calm smile. "I told you," she said. "I came to fix things." I stepped in front of Sophia and Mia instinctively. "You're scaring my daughter," I said. Her expression flickered. Just for a second. But then she laughed softly. "Your daughter?" she repeated. "You really believe that?" Sophia finally spoke. Her voice calm, but firm. "Please leave." Emily's eyes shifted toward her. Slowly, carefully. "So you're the one who took my place?" she said. "There was no place to take," Sophia replied. Her words were simple, but they hit harder than anything else. Emily's smile disappeared. For a moment, silence filled the air. Then Emily stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You think he chose you?" Sighed. "He just settled." Before Sophia could respond, I stepped forward. "That's enough." My voice was colder than before. "Finau." "Leave," I said, "or I'll make you leave." For the first time, Emily hesitated. Not because of fear, but because she realized something. I wasn't the same person she left 3 years ago. I wasn't someone she could control anymore. She looked at me one last time, her expression unreadable. "This isn't over," she said quietly. Then she turned and walked away. That night, Mia refused to let go of me. Sophia stayed silent longer than usual, and I stood there, realizing something important. Emily hadn't come back for love. She came back because she couldn't accept losing, and that made her dangerous. Chapter 5, the ending she deserved. After that day, things didn't go back to normal. They got worse, but not in the way Emily expected. A few days later, I received a call. This time, it was from someone I never thought would contact me again. Emily's father. I hesitated before answering. "Hello." His voice came through, calm but heavy. I heard everything he said. "I think we need to talk." We met the next day. He looked older than I remembered. Tired. Disappointed. "I didn't know what she did to you," he admitted. "Leaving you at the altar like that. It was unforgivable." I stayed silent, because apologies from him didn't change the past. Then he said something unexpected. "She didn't leave because she stopped loving you." My eyes narrowed slightly. "Then why?" He sighed deeply, because she thought she could do better. The words were blunt, brutal, but honest. She believed you would always be there, he continued. So she chased something else, something more exciting. And when it didn't work out, she came back. I finished. He nodded slowly. So now she wants you again, he said. But not because she loves you the right way. Because she can't accept losing you. That confirmed everything I already felt. I'm not here to defend her, he added. I just wanted you to know the truth. Then he stood up. And to tell you one more thing. If she causes trouble for you or your family, I won't support her. That surprised me. But I simply nodded. Thank you. That evening, I returned home. Sophia was in the kitchen. Mia ran toward me the moment I opened the door. Dad, she shouted happily. I picked her up instinctively. And in that moment, everything felt clear. This was my life. This was my family. Not the past. Emily. But the past wasn't done yet. That same night, Emily showed up again. This time, she wasn't calm. She wasn't composed. She looked desperate. You talked to my father, didn't you? She demanded. I didn't deny it. Good, I said calmly. Then you already know the truth. Her eyes trembled. You don't understand, she said quickly. I made a mistake. I admit it. But we can fix this. We can go back to how things were. I looked at her quietly, then shook my head. There is no going back. Her voice broke. Why? She whispered. I came back for you. I held Mia a little closer and answered simply. I moved on. She stared at me like she couldn't accept it, like reality itself was something she could reject. What about her? She asked, glancing at Sophia. You don't really love her. Before I could respond, Sophia stepped forward, her voice calm, but firm. He doesn't need to prove anything to you. Emily's expression twisted. Then she turned back to me. One last chance, she said. Apologize, and I'll forgive everything. I almost laughed. After everything. She still thought she had the power. No, I said, Juan Wargi. Just like before, this Chimi. It carried everything. Closure. Freedom. Finality. For the first time, Emily broke. Tears fell down her face. But I didn't feel anything. Not anger. Not satisfaction. Just peace. Because the truth was simple. She didn't lose me that day. She threw me away. Unknown. She finally understood what that meant.